All right. Oh,
Yeah.
double.
Yeah.
So you go. Start.
We're here with security.
Yes.
We're here with security from Saturday night, Mitch Johnson. Another epic pod, fucking awesome fun. But before we get started, shout out to our new Patreons.
Yes. So I want to specifically make note of Scott Jenkin, Jenks. He did it in front of me. On Saturday night at Up and Joke. He was like, I'm going to do it, man. I'm going to do it. I want you to watch it. And he became a Patreon there. So, mate, thanks so much for becoming a Patreon.
And Beck joined top tier. So, shout out to Beck.
Yes.
So
Women keep we got a lot of female Patrons. Do they think it's an OnlyFans for Daniel Del Perello? Jesus.
Well, that's a great way to explain it. It is like an OnlyFans. There's about 21 bonus episodes on there now. Mm-hmm. There's often discount tickets or shows or behind the scenes stuff, exclusive to Patreon and merch. So when you sign, depending on the level, you get merch. But yeah, we'll be doing a rejig soon, hopefully. Yeah. We've said that for the last 3 months. We're just so busy.
Maybe when I'm in Thailand, I can sort that. But and this episode is brought to you by Raunchy.
Oh yeah, thanks Raunchy for getting behind Up and Joke, providing us with 8 slabs. Fucking awesome.
I had a fair few, I think.
Yeah, I was getting into the heavy diesel.
Well, yeah. I don't know what I was drinking, but everything I drank of theirs was good.
Yeah.
Because it's actually good.
Yeah. Did you have any, Raunchy? On the night?
Yes, you did. Yeah. And it was so good.
But Mitch, what did we cover today? It was a fucking good chat.
What did we cover?
Yeah.
Bit of Up and Joke.
Bit of Up and Joke. Bit about the Ashes. Oh, hitting the table there. Bit of scrappy stuff.
Oh yeah.
Bit about family and the karate.
And the time you flogged the Hulk.
Flogged the Hulk, yeah. Flogged him.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
he'll be coming for me now.
Yeah. Even a couple of standoffs over in the in India and bit of media stuff.
There's a fair bit of stuff in there.
Cool stuff on the media for sure.
Mm.
So let's get hard.
Yep, let's get hard.
Welcome to Hard Yarns Podcast.
I am fucking fat.
Anything Chris White says, please disregard it.
5D is actually a state of being. It's a unity consciousness.
That was Hard Yarns with me, Frankie Rose. So I'm going to throw it over to your co-host,
Daniel Delby.
And Cameron Branch.
I would do this and then I'd gong.
Free in attendance for the millions listening at home. Let's get hard.
Like physical 100.
Oh, you're a great comedian. I was going to do that. I was going to do it like, hi, I'm James McCann. But Dave Reynolds sent me a reel last night of James McCann. It was a hilarious joke.
Yeah.
And I was like, he's the one who we had on the week before you. He's like, fuck off. That's who it was. So.
Yeah. Fuck. Mate, I just had a fucking haircut. My barber, he goes, do you want it short to get rid of the greys? I said, yeah. I've just had a look at myself. I look about fucking 15 again.
Yeah. Looking fresh.
So much younger.
Yeah, because you've been growing a bit of a longer beard lately.
Yeah.
But the longer beard hides the double chin, Delby.
100%. I know.
That's why I keep it long.
I just bought Joe Rogan's the jaw thing.
Same.
Did you?
The jaws are size or whatever.
size.
Yes, I literally just.
Now, I don't know if it's people that can see. I don't know if cunts are just taking photos like that and then going like that for the before and
Definitely
after.
are.
So yeah, 100%.
Definitely go the up view.
Yeah,
up view.
Well, even like the carnivore diet, I'm like, it does make sense, man, because like having to chew your meat more, hell works these.
It got the teeth, the jaw, the teeth as well. So the teeth were like closed in from memory if you were eating it, and that's why everyone was getting cavities and like their teeth were all getting fucked up. But
seems like everyone's trying that at the moment.
Carnivore.
Have you jumped on?
Yeah, but I started a. I don't know if we spoke about this last time because it's been a while since I've been there, but I was on the low carb, high fat.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Like keto? Is that
sort of like it's like keto? Yeah. And we actually met Tim Noakes, who wrote a book on it in South Africa.
Yeah.
And we sat in on one of his lectures. Jeez, that went over my head.
Oh, really?
Lectures. They're all doctors and scientists and everything.
What's the whole team sat in on it, or just you?
There was a couple of us guys that were keen on learning a bit about it. So my last 3 years of playing cricket, I actually was on that diet, way of living. And like fairly like strict to it. Like I'd have one like cheat day, and I really did notice like on those cheat days how bloated, because I'd have like a pizza and I'd have pasta and I'd just like load up.
Yeah.
I just felt like shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, it was such a interesting like process. But yeah, for me, like it worked really well. I kept my weight at like 93 kilos. I felt strong. I felt fit.
Yeah.
I felt like that inflammation side of things. Like I felt like I was recovering quicker.
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, I always tried different things to try and get the best out of myself. Like whether it was food, whether it was gym, certain training styles, the mental side. So yeah, I was fortunate enough to sort of go on that. And
Yeah. So maybe the carbs thing, well, that was almost a secondhand carnivore diet plus a few plants, right?
Pretty much. Like the carbs that I used were basically vegetables.
Yeah.
So it was like I was loading up on my vegetables as my carbs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you
then
felt
the
like
cheat
more
days-
energy?
Oh yeah, I felt fine. Like I think that first week you obviously feel like the difference. Like it's, you feel like your blood pressure or your sugar or whatever it is, like you drop a bit and you feel like, a bit dizzy and things like that. But like I never felt once throughout like playing, like especially in test matches when you're out there for 5 days, like I never felt like a drop in energy. I felt very stable.
Yeah.
There was never that crash or anything like that. You were sort of just very stable with you.
That's what a few people have said, like that stability. Like it's not like they feel 10 times better. They just never feel the crash.
Crash, But I dropped sugar as well. Like that was a big one. Like obviously like.
Was it hard to like make meals that you enjoyed though? Or was it the same thing over and over? Or did you hire a nutritionist or like?
Yeah, it was hard because we traveled a lot. So like when you'd go to different hotels, like you sort of had to source things out. But in India, for example, a lot of the times you just get the chef to make chicken and broccoli, like sauteed broccoli.
Yeah.
Bit of garlic and things like that. But and that was fine.
Yeah.
Like I could eat that most meals, lunch meals. So
Yeah.
I found it fine. But like I said, everyone's different. There was a couple of guys that got on board with it and they enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Some of them actually went to the next step and did like the 5-2.
Yeah.
And they had those days where they didn't
fasting while playing professional sport would be fucking tough.
Yeah, well, they had to pick the days. Like when we had days off, like travel days were the perfect days to do it.
Yeah.
Because you're just on a plane and you end up eating shit anyway.
Yeah.
So it was just a good day to get off it.
The boredom for me is a big one. Like if I'm hell busy, not eating's fine. But if I'm sitting around, especially on a long flight, you just eat because you're bored.
Exactly.
It's so weird.
Flights. Yeah. Or even just at home, man. Like I get bored.
Yeah.
And I'd be fasting. I remember I broke a fast, like a 7-day fast I was doing, and I broke on the 4th day. Wasn't hungry. I just
bored.
I was just bored. I was like, fuck, that food looks good. Like,
Yeah.
So I just ate it. Yeah.
Fuck it. It's always a way as well. I tried to do the fast, and the day I did the fast, it's like the universe knows and it's testing you. Like my kids, all the Aboriginal kids cooked up kangaroo that day and was giving it out. The next day, the African kids cooked up like this dope African food.
Yeah.
And the next day was all the staff had like the maddest feed we've ever had. So I'm not eating. I get home, my housemate's cooking like lamb ribs and shit. I'm like, what the fuck?
Stuff,
Then I had a wedding and it was grand final day, and I'm like, man, there's all this absolute mad spread. They're like, eat whatever you want. I'm like, fucked.
Yeah, I don't think it would have been too much carnivore and good eating on Saturday night.
Nah.
How good was
at
that?
Varsity.
That was so
Fun,
good.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being part of that. It was
Mate,
bloody good.
I feel strange like getting up and being a part of it, to be honest, because it's, to me, like, I've been on the pods and stuff like that, but it's not my gig. It's you guys have done your part, and I know I've been part of it, and with the Grin Reapers,
Just for the people, mate. They just love you.
Yeah, well,
so they want to see.
Well, and they said I listened to the Reapers pod last night, and they made that point as well. People like they get a kick out of seeing you and Della and these sorts of guys as a it's a big thing for them. Like even us, like when it's the first time I meet Della or you. I'm like, well, fuck, this is Mitch Johnson. This is Jack Della. Like, you do have that little bit. So, for a lot of people in the room, it helps us because it ups the sort of hype of the night, you know?
No, it was nice to have that entrance.
Yeah. Is that the dopest tracksuits, man?
Yeah, there's
Street X.
So, yeah, they're awesome. They're wicked. We trained at Street X, was it the day before?
Yeah.
Did a bit of stuff with Bradshaw there and then, got our gear from him and a couple of days ago, I think it might have been yesterday or the day, I don't know when it was, but Ben and I rocked up to our coffee shop with the tops on.
Because?
And he looked at me.
I see your story.
I posted it up. I said twins. But he was trying to get it off as quick as possible. He's like, this is embarrassing.
Fuck.
When you get something free, you've got to wear it.
Mate, it was like a up in joke reunion on Monday morning at Alex Jr. rocked up.
Yeah, it
You
was.
were there. Strikey was there, who came, but then Buddha was there.
Yeah.
I missed out Vickers, and it was just a heap of people.
I went there just before because I heard yous were all there. And I literally went there this morning because I had a gig at the old Pabry High School. So I was like, I'll see what all the fuss is about. I've been there once. So, fuck, good breakfast wrap. We're all good. But,
happy with that.
yeah. There's nowhere to sit, though. That's like...
You sit on the little things.
It's like 6 seats and then the standing bit. Is that normal? Because there's a
the standing
pharmacy
bit.
at the back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good.
It's like
I'm just lazy.
Yeah, it's more of a hangout sort of.
Yeah.
Indie sort of. Yeah, it's popular.
Yeah,
for
but if
that
you do
reason.
if you do want coffee, go to Reed and White Co because they're potential sponsors.
Yeah, potentially.
Yeah, no, it was pretty fucking fun, man. And what was your experience of it like? Because I didn't really get to talk to too many people afterwards. I was trying, but Buddha got to speak to heaps. You got to speak to heaps.
Yeah.
I'd take 5 steps and then spend time with someone. I didn't see my brother. I didn't see like anyone.
Yeah, no, we a few of us bailed pretty early afterwards, but not too much of a party animal these days. But I think the way the whole show was put together, I don't know. It's I actually invited my neighbour.
Yeah,
And he didn't know Scott, so he didn't know what was going on. He thought it was. I did a live podcast with the Grin Reaper boys at Woodford. He thought it was something like that. He was just going to hear me like talk.
Yeah.
So he was just like, "Oh yeah, cool." And at the end, he walked out. He goes, "I've not laughed so hard in my life." Like, he goes, and he actually said a couple of days ago. He said, "I went to Chappelle." He goes, and he went to another comedy show, like a big act,
Kevin Hart or someone.
I think so, yeah. And he goes, "I've laughed just as hard on Saturday night as what I did at those shows."
Yeah.
He goes, "It was so good."
Well, you heard it here. We are as funny as Kevin Hart and Dave Chappelle.
But yeah, what I loved is, you sort of have that theme going on again. You've got those characters.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really good part of it. You break it up in 2 halves as well.
Yeah.
Then you've got that comedy side of it at the end.
Yeah.
And everyone feels a part of it. It's interactive.
Yeah. That was the aim for this one, to make it more interactive. But it's good that you like the characters, and shout out to Whitey for suggesting that, because my gut feel was to go kind of what we did, where it was videos and then put some stand up in the middle and videos, but that worked perfectly by having Branchy do a quick 5 in the middle, but separating it into the video half and the stand up half ended up being a lot better.
That felt good as well.
Yeah.
It was just hearing you two on stage, and you guys could say almost anything and it was just popping, and I just had this confidence to go on stage and just it just felt confident. It felt really good. It was a good night, man.
And awesome, well done on the comedy as well, to stand up and to do that, because I don't know how anyone can do it, but...
Would you ever want to try it?
No.
Because you speak really well on pods and that now.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just... The funny thing is, right? Well, it's not funny, but I'm not a funny person. So naturally, like I'm not... if I had to like set up something to do like comedy, I can't sort of get the punchline out.
Yeah.
So we used to do in the Australian cricket team, and I think they still do it. You'd have like in the morning of the day's play or whatever, you'd do like a joke of the day.
Yes.
And so everyone would get like picked. So you'd do it, right? Say like George Bailey was very good, actually. He used to bring props and stuff like that. He was very good.
Prop comic.
Yeah, he was very good. And he used to tell a good story. So he'd often get picked to do it because it was good. But they would have the choice then to pick someone. So I used to hide all the time. I would be so fearful, right? I couldn't sleep like the night before and things like that. I struggled,
You're like the batsman thinking about you.
Yeah.
You're worried about being picked for Jazz.
Exactly. But we had, we had Andy Lee come in. We've had Dave Hughes.
Yeah.
It's funny though; those guys all said the same thing though. That they were petrified coming in to
Yeah.
the Australian cricket team to tell a joke.
Yeah.
Because their expectation
Well, so they
is
just
to
come
be
in to
funny.
do one joke and bail, or
They
do
do
they
a
do
couple
like a
of
little,
little skits. Yeah.
That would be pretty daunting.
Pressure
Is
on
it
'em.
before a game, or is it just like
It's the morning of the game.
wow?
Yeah,
right.
just to get the vibe up of the lads and
Yeah. But it's it's a bit like like you say, it's they love their cricket. They're coming into that environment. We're like looking forward to it, but they're like going, "Oh man, this is the Australian cricket team."
If I fuck up, they could lose today.
Yeah, basically that was it.
The original up and joke.
We just loved it. But
Did you ever get picked, or did you manage to hide for 15 years or however long?
I got picked once, and I think it was Darren Lehman. I said, "Boof, I can't do it, mate." I said, "I can't sleep." He goes, "Oh, I'll just pass it on to someone." No, I never did one.
Fuck.
That's
yeah,
gold.
mate,
But you're good at telling stories, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Getting there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm getting there.
You've got
I-
good stories and
Yeah, I think the more you do, I've been doing a few more speaking gigs, just like on mine sites
Yeah.
and
sportsman's nights and stuff. Or not
yeah,
really?
not quite sportsman's nights. I don't. I mean, I tell a few like the sportsman's type jokes or like stories that happen throughout your career, but it's more based around, I guess, my path, my journey.
Yeah.
So I throw a lot of stuff in.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's, some stories. There's some about the mental health side. There's some about where I'm heading to now, just the ups and downs. And it's just a life story, I guess, more than anything.
So I remember the Indian masseuse, I think it was the last time.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good one.
Told us about him.
Close to the old
good. Yeah.
gut bag.
And the fufu valve.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But
He's still going around. I saw him on TV. I was watching one of the IPL games and he was there in the background, I think for Punjab, the Kings 11 Punjab team.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So he's still
Still getting the
tickling the
fingers in.
you just went over to India,
stump
didn't you?
camp?
Well, you
yeah,
were
stump camp.
you were commentating, but you did it like a what was it? Almost like was it
The Legends League.
the Legends League? That's
yeah,
right.
What's that
Yeah.
about?
last year. Yeah, so I went over last year and when was that? Like November, I think, somewhere around that time. And I never wanted to play cricket again. Right, that was once I was done. And they obviously throw a little bit of money your way. Come over, and it's
Always helps.
No, it does help, but
Tickling the money bag.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But I remember, like saying to myself, okay, look, it'll be good fun. Get to play with some old mates. Get to play with some guys that you played against as well in the same team, and have a bit of fun. Like that was the whole point, just to get over there and enjoy it. And it got a little bit serious.
Really?
Yeah.
Towards the back end of the tournament.
How many teams were there? Because I missed this. I didn't even know this was a thing. So
no, it wasn't like it was well. I mean, it was televised, but
Yeah.
it wasn't like well spoken about.
was it like 4 teams or
4
2?
teams? Yeah, I believe. Yeah, 4 teams. There was some that were recently retired, some that were retired 10 plus years.
Yeah.
So it was a very, very big mix. There was actually another tournament going on at the same time with old boys as well. So there was Australian team, South African, Indian, Sri Lankan, England.
So just older players.
No, so that was like Shane Watson, Brett Lee went over to that one. It was just a different tournament, but it was put on at the same time.
Yeah.
So the one I went in was all Indian-based, based teams. Indian Capitals was our team.
Yep.
But you had a very good mix of players. So our standard was meant to be probably a higher standard.
Yeah,
So it was a lot more serious.
Yeah.
The other one was a bit more relaxed, and they were having a few more beers.
Yeah. That's the one you wanted.
A lot of guys were happy going to that one because it was. But I think the feedback that Shane Watson spoke about, he goes, it was probably too relaxed.
Yeah.
And the one we played in, with the other one, the Indian one, was a bit more probably too full on.
Yeah.
So they need that sort of balance because
Happy medium.
Yeah, because I think there's the expectations of you to try and be almost at your best in some ways.
But they
I was
froth
going
you
to say
over
the
there
Indians
in
would have
India.
frothed
Yeah.
it. Like,
Mate,
They loved it. We got some good crowds at the back end of the tournament.
Because even like when you came onto our last pod, we went into the charts in India, like went very high just because you were on
Yeah,
there.
right.
And then even that that bloke in the green room, the Uber driver,
oh, yeah.
who rocked up,
yeah.
and you were, it was like, Mitch Johnson, Mitch.
He wanted me to go on FaceTime with his mate. We're about to go on and do the show. Like, we don't have the time, eh?
So funny. Usually you're doing deliveries. He's doing deliveries.
yeah.
With you.
Just I'll make note of it as well for the people watching at home. When we go to our camera, you'll see it flash black from time to time. We just got an error.
That's the Uber driver.
That's the Uber drive. We just got an error with our camera. It just goes a little quick black flash from time to time. We'll fix it in the next couple of weeks. Apologies.
Yeah.
But
I'm big in India as well, bro. Just
Yeah?
Sunday Singles.
yeah.
Sunday Singles has got like 300,000 followers. I don't control it or anything. I just host it. But about 70 to 80% of the followers are all like Indian because of how different the culture is dating wise and the shit that I'm saying. And I get inboxes like, I wish I could talk like this to a girl. I would love to do this. When are you coming to India? And now I'm getting recognized by dudes from Bahrain and
where
India.
is Bahrain? Is Bahrain a part of?
It's a different. I think that different, but Yeah, I'm like, if I could monetize that somehow.
I'm sure you'll figure it out. There'll be a way to do it.
Yeah. So maybe do like personalized messages.
Yeah.
But what is India like, man? I don't think we spoke about that too much. I've heard there's like 2 different parts. You got like the slum, and then there's really beautiful like forestry and shit. Is that? Have you done any of that?
There's a lot of the times I've gone over, I've never really been the tourist.
Yeah.
It's always been cricket or cricket related, like commentary or whatever. And when you do leave the hotel, you get absolutely mobbed.
Yeah,
So
I guess for you it'd be tough. Yeah.
it is tough. And but yeah, Bangalore or Bangalore is a beautiful place. It's one of my favorite places. It's got a lot of greenery, a lot of trees, just a friendly place. But then you go to places like Kolkata. You've got the old part of Kolkata, which is very, it's dirty. It's that third world side of the country. Like the whole India is got that third world part to it. But dirty. But then you've got the new part of it. It's a bit more westernized. Yeah. And Mumbai, like I always say, there's so many little places you can like sort of go to, like little coffee shops that are hidden away, like little restaurants that you look at the building and you go, there's can't be anything in there, but you go in and it's like there's a bar and there's nice food and so
it's all like sanitary.
Yeah.
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 I'm so like fucking. What's the word? Naive when it comes to
India.
Because I've been to Cambodia. It was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be like what you see on World Vision. They had better Wi-Fi reception than we do here.
Oh, that's same in India. It's different like that. But I mean, yes. I mean, if you go and eat off the street, there's probably a chance of getting sick.
Yeah.
What do they call it there? Delhi belly.
Delhi belly. Yeah. I mean, the last couple of years I've travelled there, I've been pretty good.
Yeah.
You get a little bit of an upset tummy here and there, but I mean, we stay in like 4 or 5 star hotels.
Yeah.
It's always like filtered water. Like I'll brush my teeth in the bath.
Yeah.
In the shower.
Yeah.
I just don't swallow the water.
Yeah.
Just to be sure. But I mean, I told one of my good mates to go and travel there a few years ago. And I said, you got to like go to India. It's a great experience. The people are great. Always smiling.
Yeah.
They'll look after you.
That's because you're Mitch Johnson.
He would have a different experience. No, it's funny though. They will ask you if you know cricket.
Yeah, right.
So they'll see you, and even if you're not famous, but you could say like you know someone.
Yeah.
And they'll be all over you and taking photos.
Yeah.
And they'll look after you. They do look after you. They are very good. But I mean, I said, look, you got to try the food. The food's amazing there. Like it's very like there's a lot of spices in that. You just tell them to dumb it down a little bit, but.
Yeah.
Fucking oath, dumb it down. Last time I had it, and I said, I'll have this just here as well, like a local Indian restaurant. I was like, I'll have it hot. And he looked at me like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, I can handle it. It's hot. Like it's all good. And I was having visions. Legit fucking felt like I was hallucinating. It was fucked, man.
Who needs ayahuasca?
Yeah, it was fucked. It actually made me feel high. It was fucking crazy.
Wow. Yeah.
But
I ended up, he didn't want to go there. So he went, I said, try Sri Lanka. So he went to Sri Lanka instead. But
is Sri Lanka meant to be dangerous was that where the bombing was on the bus? Or was that Pakistan?
No, that was Pakistan.
Yeah, right.
Sri Lanka had like the Tamil Tigers, I think.
Yeah,
like they had a bit of
a bit
of
Big
that
sort
going
of guerrilla.
Yeah. But we've always felt pretty safe over there. Like it's a great place and a lot of nice beaches and it's a little bit more relaxed there. Like it's not like India where they all crowd you. It's like we could walk the streets there and be okay. But they've got the snake tamers on the side, like with the cobras.
Oh, the charmers. Or
charmers,
yeah. Fuck.
That's what it is, snake charmers.
Do you know how they work? Like, because what do?
They pull their fangs out for a start, so it's not.
Yeah.
We're like, this is not legit. We're not scared. I don't know. They play the music and it sort of come out.
It's weird that like, is it the music or is it like they just take? Is it set up?
I think it's a massive setup.
Yeah, because
they stop you on the way, right? So you're walking and they're like, stop. And you're like, no, it's okay. And they're like, oh, no, come watch. And then they do it. And then they go, hand out payment. We're like, no.
Yeah. So do they like take the basket off themselves or do they just start playing and it comes out?
I think they take the top off.
And that might be the cue for the snake to come out naturally, right? Because snakes can't hear. They only hear vibrations.
Yeah.
So, I've always sort of...
But maybe the sound is a vibration.
Yeah, sound is a vibration.
So potentially...
By me,
but
yeah.
Is that what they're hearing?
I don't know. I don't really know. Never asked. So
Yeah. Do they feel... they do something with their tongue as well. That's why the tongue's going in and out.
That's smelling.
Yeah, smelling with their tongue. Yeah.
See, I'm a snake expert.
Yeah.
Basically. I'm basically the next Croc Dundee.
Well, you're an expert at smelling with your tongue, according to the girls I spoke to. No.
Jesus.
Well, talking about snakes as well, I had one in my room in India.
Yeah, right.
What?
Well, that was the masseuse getting at you, wasn't it?
Fuck. What do you do there?
On that Legends League, there was we'd gone to this hotel. We stayed there overnight. Everything was sweet. I woke up in the morning, put my laundry bag out. I was like, "Oh, there's something in the corner."
Oh,
I thought
my
on the
God.
underneath side, I thought
fuck.
it looked like a worm because it was translucent underneath, and it was probably about that long, right?
About 12-inch.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's about right.
Was that about right? Sizing up that dildo you had on stage the other night.
Yeah, about 30 centimetres.
Yeah, right. Expert, but I was about to pick it up because I was like, and then I went, oh no, I better not. So I grabbed something, and I flicked it out, and then it's like going at me, and I was like, what the
fuck?
It's a snake.
What colour was it? Was it like a? It's got to be deadly if it's there, man.
I don't know. It was it was brown, and I'd actually put it up on Instagram, and people were saying there was people were
Everyone's an
saying it was
expert.
deadly, it was venomous,
Yeah.
and then others were saying no, it's okay, it's common.
That was just a photo of you bowling.
Yeah, pretty much.
Isn't that funny?
Because if you went wrong, like if you had to put your hand in the bag or something,
Yeah,
you're gone, eh?
yeah.
Fuck. That happened to my little.
It freaked me out a little bit afterwards. I was like, "Whoa!"
Yeah, 'cause you sleep- were you sleeping
I was
around-
sleeping.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
was like, "Wow."
I mean, yeah, because it's not going to eat you. So only if you roll over or something.
It'll bite you though.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
roll under it or something,
Yeah.
it's not going to just come up and fuck you up like sleeping for no reason.
Yeah.
I lived.
And then in the last game that we
Yeah.
played, there was another snake in the change rooms
Oh my.
near our bags. So we're pulling our
Someone's-
bags, and there was quite a big snake. It was all wrapped up in the corner. But then we realised why. There was like rats like flying around the change room, so they were after the rats.
Yeah. Fucking.
But yeah, it was a good experience.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't get bitten.
I grew up on a property in West Swan before my parents split up,
Yeah.
and my little brother was pissing in this bucket outside,
Yeah.
and then he moved the bucket, and there was a fucking like 3-meter tiger snake just behind it. Could have bit him on the cock.
Because you know what the damaging thing about the venom is it coagulates our
Yeah.
blood, and so
Yeah.
it just turns it into like a thick.
It's what Pfizer used for their vaccine.
Fuck, we put up one clip and it just goes bang again. Like
Yeah.
if every time you mention vaccine, it goes viral.
Yeah. Oh well.
It seems.
Or not.
Oh. But yeah, so you also went there to commentate.
I did some
So is that-
commentary earlier this year. Yeah.
Is that
How
where
you
you're
finding
moving into, or?
Yeah, I mean, if the opportunities are there and it came up, fortunately for me, Michael Clark had made a bit of a boo-boo. And
Yeah, just a small one, hey.
yeah,
Fuck.
look, I don't agree with it, but it's, it is what it is. And
Agree with what he was doing, or the person filming, or it getting out, or
Or the firing of him.
the sort of firing part, I
Yeah.
suppose.
I didn't realize he lost his job.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
right.
lost that. That was the gig that he was going to, and yeah. Look, I don't really care in the end. Like you probably should know that you're going to be, you're in the limelight, and someone could be around, so you probably shouldn't be in public when you're, having those arguments. But yeah. Anyway, like I ended up getting a good gig out of that, and went over to India and did 2 test matches there and 3 one-days. So
Who was on
That was
with you?
good.
Who was the team?
we had Matty Hayden, Ravi Shastri, one of the legends of Indian cricket. We had Murali Kartik. Who else did we have? Actually, Aaron Finch came over. He's just retired, so he's starting to get into a bit more. He's
Yeah.
over in the IPL as well, doing a bit.
Was that for Fox or Nine or?
It was for the BCCI.
Yeah, right.
Actually, so the Indian Cricket Board
Cool.
signed you on, and yeah, but Fox obviously pay for those rights, I think, to then
Take it.
broadcast it as well. But yeah, like it was a great experience for me. I hadn't done TV stuff for a long time, and it was pretty good. Like I like talking about cricket. I'm sort of well enough removed from it now to.
Not hurt people's feelings?
Well,
or?
no, it still hurt people's feelings. Definitely still hurt people's
Yeah.
feelings, but like it's not about that. Like I'm not doing it to be, for the emotional side or the feeling side. It's I'm trying to comment and make my opinion of what's happening
Yeah.
on field or
Yep.
what's happening in the team. trying to do it professionally and unbiased as much as possible. So I've been doing, the Sunday Times articles.
It's quite good. I quite like your articles, man.
Yeah.
It's refreshing.
Yeah, it is.
I'm
really
surprised I don't
honest.
sense you as much.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So-
I've done some interesting ones. I mean, the last couple have been quite tough to do, because I don't want to sit on the fence, but I don't want to also, you don't want to be in people's faces too much, but you sort of want to try and get, because they are opinion pieces.
Yeah.
So you want to get your opinion across, but then I also like what I like about doing the paper is it's about conversation. So I'm happy to you might not agree with what I'm saying, which is great because we're not supposed to agree on everything.
Yeah.
But it gets conversation going. I mean, I've been down the coffee shop where someone might pull me up in the street and go, "Really loved your article."
Yeah.
But I go, "Oh, but I didn't agree with this part." And it's like, "Yeah, cool." And then you have a chat, and it's like, "Yeah, I see that point."
Yeah.
So that's just how I see it. And
The Vax one you did was really good. About people losing their jobs, and someone needs to be held accountable. But anyway, we'll fucking
even
about
like
that ad lib.
And I don't know if you want to go down this path, but obviously Warner's wife got pretty angry at you for what you wrote. That's pretty.
I missed that.
Yeah. She wasn't happy.
What did you write?
Well, I got a nice message a private message from Davey.
Yeah.
After
Is that sarcastic nice or an actual nice? Okay.
Well, don't go down any path you don't want to go down, man.
No, look, the whole situation's pretty.
For people that missed it, for the listeners that don't follow cricket, you want to do a summary? Because I'm a little bit behind as well.
Basically I did an article. I've just said about Davey and his performance over the past couple of years and going into England. It's about the Ashes.
Yeah.
I sort of said I don't think he should be picked in the squad.
Yeah.
I think it's time to sort of move on.
Well, his form doesn't warrant it either,
yeah,
right?
the form, and I said there's no disrespect to him. It's what he's done as an opener. I admire that.
You said that in the article, which is admirable.
And I even said on her behalf, because she's now a Fox commentator on the back page.
She played cricket before, has she?
Yes, so. But I basically just went off the comment of her saying that no one to take his place. There's no one, good enough, basically.
Right.
And I think that's a bit of a slap in the face. And I was just basing my comment off that.
Yeah.
My expertise off that. So.
And what did you suggest some players that were?
Yeah, Cameron Bancroft and I think who was the other one? Renshaw.
Yeah.
And they're not going to get a chance to improve if they don't get the opportunity.
Exactly. And like I said, I think I said in the article, it's look, yes, they're not as good as Davey.
Yeah.
Because they haven't had the chance to be at the top level and to have that time there to get better.
Surely he'd be mature enough to understand that eventually someone's going to have to take over, and there's a sort of time where he's not going to be the best in the team.
Yeah, I mean, you'd think so, but the perfect opportunity would have been after that Melbourne 200.
Yeah,
I think you're trying to. I think sometimes you try and chase that perfect ending, and it doesn't happen. I look at Ricky Ponting, and that sort of happened a little bit. You love him to bits because of what he's done in the game, and he was one of our best batsmen, one of the best captains we've had, and you sort of want the best for them to finish off, but it sometimes just doesn't work that way.
Yeah. It happens a lot when you see it, even like AFL, any sport.
Yeah.
Like if a player who was one of the best, and then they hold on maybe that year or two more, and it doesn't affect their legacy, but it does a little bit. Like had they gone right, I didn't need to play that last season.
Or the opposite way, where Brent Harvey could have played another 3 seasons. Like he got retired way too early, man. But he was getting 25 and 2.
But again, potentially, the next year he could have come out and he could have dropped 4 times and hold a spot for a young player who's going to develop and be a future gun for the next 10 years.
As someone that's been a professional in the industry, is it an ego thing where it needs to come down to that person going, "I've had my time, it's just past me," or did I have to come to terms with that? Like you probably knew when you were going to retire.
Yeah.
Like how much is his ego? How much is team first? And does some players just not have that awareness?
Well, I think it comes down to selectors for a start.
Yeah.
I mean, in this situation, he's not selecting the team, so I mean, he's trying to play as much as he can.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
But you've got to look at, if you're not at your best, is that having an influence on the team?
I guess the hard part is, sorry to interrupt, we've done that a little bit, but because I'm not really familiar with how cricket works too much, but if the selectors are picking you, they're saying you're the best we have. So it's not even really his fault in the end. It's the selectors need to grow up here, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we've had a changeover in selectors. George Bailey is former player and quite fresh out of the game, and as the selector as well. I think he's the head selector. And then you've got Pat Cummins is actually a selector as well, so the captain, which makes it very interesting. So there's a bit more to this story, like with Davey. Then you've got Cameron Bancroft, because those guys were the guys from South Africa.
Yep.
Sandpaper Gate.
There's an interesting bit of stuff I think that's going to come out in the future.
Yeah.
And I think it's having an impact on selection somehow.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
Yeah.
I know Davey.
Reading between the lines there.
Yeah, I mean, I know Davey's. He's holding on to something. So, I don't know if he's. They talk about it in the media. Some people are talking about, or fans as well are talking about that he's got a gun to Cricket Australia's head. And, he's got dirt. He sort of mentioned something before Christmas, I think it was, about like a board member or something like that, talking about they told him to do whatever it was that not to the extent of going out and cheating, but like was
whatever it takes.
Is this going to be on the next Fox Sports News article? Mitch Johnson on the Hard Yarns podcast said.
Don't know. I think all this stuff's pretty much out there, but
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, as far as like I said, go back to the comments that were made from Candace, and to be honest, I don't need to say anything.
Yeah.
Because I've said my piece. If they want to be personal about it, then they can be personal. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah. People need to understand it's your job now as well.
Yeah,
like
it's my job. Yep.
So.
And like I said, I'm not doing it as a personal vendetta on anyone. It's easy to do that if you wanted to.
Yeah.
And I think it's not a very good way to go about it because people see that.
Yeah.
People can.
Yeah.
I know.
Imagine
if we moved into, like, let's say. I'm starting to report for West Perth Footy Club, and I'm writing the articles, and Strikey gets to a point where he's no good playing footy. I have to start writing, well, maybe he's not the best. I'd still have to do it. I'd still have to be honest about it, and he's one of my best mates.
Strikey's still playing?
No, but I'm just using that as an example when I was doing that stuff.
Exactly. I played a lot with Davey, and I backed him in a lot of situations, backed a lot of those guys. So, it is hard sometimes when you are talking about your mates or guys that you have played with, and but when they see the other side of it, you get more of an understanding as well, because you are in a bubble. You have to in the Australian cricket or any sporting team, I guess you are, when you've got that limelight on you. You have to protect yourself and you protect your team, and you tend to go into that bubble. Yeah. And you don't see it from another perspective. Yeah.
Time will heal all wounds anyway. Yeah. Whatever happens, they'll eventually 99% of the time figure it out.
Yeah. And I mean, look, like I said, I try my best with the not being personal. I mean, there's probably been a couple of occasions where you sort of slip into that a little bit. But we're all human.
Well, I guess there's because it is your future. And commentating and stuff like that. That gets you back on the road again. How does that sit with you? Is that something that scares you a bit again? Or
Yeah. I mean, I did struggle a little bit in the Legends League, being there for I was about 3 weeks. And when all the stuff happened with the incident in the semi-final with another player,
what happened?
A bit of push and shove went on.
That's why I got serious.
Yeah. And I felt a bit embarrassed because I've never laid hands on anyone on the cricket field. But I guess I'll tell a story. It was not Irfan Pathan.
That's almost a swear word in Italian.
Putana. Come here, Putana.
Yusuf Pathan. He's a big dude. Bowled a short ball at the end of an over. He'd been smacking me around a bit, so I was like, it's just whatever. And bowled him a bounce. I bowled 2 bounces in the whole trip. I was like, I really didn't care that much.
Yeah.
Like, not disrespecting, but I was like, I just didn't have that fire. And anyway, we had 2 female umpires, and he had a bit of a crack at the female umpire. And I just said, look, mate, just relax. Like, we're not here for, we're just here for a bit of fun.
Yeah.
Like,
not here for cow stations if it was India.
Yeah.
Not sheep stations.
But he just lost it and come walking straight towards me. I didn't move. I stayed in and he was something like, you're saying fuck off to me? And I was like, no, I didn't say fuck off. I said, just relax, mate. Like, chill out. Anyway, he got right in my face, and there was two camera angles. One of them shows that I just, push him. The other one shows he actually bumps into me with his chest, like slightly, and I just pushed him.
Yeah.
And at this time, I'd actually been getting ready for my Soa.
Fight with Soa.
So I'm like in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, I'm going to grab his helmet, I'm going to like trip him, or am I going to like grab it, pull it up, give him an uppercut?
Full hockey style.
Nah, that's probably not the right choice, especially in India. They're very popular as well. And yeah, look, I felt a bit embarrassed from the point of view of kids watching.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, that's not, we shouldn't be behaving like that. And anyway, then he's actually, his brother came out next to bat and wanted to fight me. He's like, I'll fight you. You want to take? I said, I'll take both of you. He goes, he gives me his room number. But the thing was, he wasn't staying at the same hotel. It was like half an hour, 40 minutes away. So I was like, I'm not going to your hotel.
If we're going to put it on pay-per-view and make some money from it.
But after that, like I sort of got a little bit sort of down because obviously the media over there sort of backed them and and like I copped a fair bit and it sort of got me down a bit because I felt like I was doing the right thing from, standing up for someone. Standing up in that situation, I felt like there was no choice. I didn't have a choice. Like, I guess the only choice I could have walked away. But I stood my ground and he got in my face. And
it's good though that
if someone bumps you, like.
But it was more for, I think, from I just felt that the disrespect to the umpire.
Yeah.
And I thought, come on, man. Like, we're just here to play and have fun.
Because that's such a big thing in cricket as well, obviously, respect to the umpire. And it's good that you can look back on it in reflection and say, this is how I would have handled it better.
Yeah.
And even if
we kissed and made up in the next match. And
he gave you the room number, eh? But you should have set the masseuse there. Special gift from Mitch.
Would have been good. But going on from traveling more as well. Like I went back again for the commentary for about 3.5 weeks, and look, you have a lot of time in your room, and a lot of time to yourself, especially with commentary. You're not in a team. Like you got a team of commentary guys, but you tend to try and get together as much as you can.
Yeah.
But you're basically from ground to home, back to the hotel, and you're not doing too much. But a little bit of a struggle. I've been asked to do a few coaching gigs as well. There's the MLB. There's the American League happening soon as well. I got asked to go
cricket
and
league.
Cricket League. Yeah, right. So there's 2 leagues over there, and it's actually one of them's in July, which I was asked to do some stuff with for the whole month.
Yeah.
And I had to we're on holidays, but I sort of had to turn that one down. But there's plenty of opportunities. It's just now it's picking what's going to suit me and my family.
Yeah.
And what's going to suit my headspace, like how long I can be away for.
Yeah.
Because I find now I struggle going away, and because my kids are 10 and 7, they're playing a lot of sports. I don't want to miss, a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
But then you've also got to have your own life. And
it's very similar to what Ed Byrne said. Now that he's a professional comic after 26 years, he picks where he's going to go, and it's got to be worth his time because he's missing out on time with family and stuff back home. So I think
it's the time. It's obviously, you're getting paid, but it sort of comes down to the time thing, the time factor, how much you can give your time, and how much you can be away.
We even had
how
this
much I can deal with
conversation this morning about taking Up and Joke over to Sydney, and if I can work it about being away from my daughter.
Yeah,
it only sounds like a weekend, but then the fact that I'm going to Italy for 3 weeks after, I was like, I'm prioritising my time with Scotty. Now it looks like I might be able to take her with me. I'll have to run that by Steph. I haven't said anything, but might be able to take her with me, and then Buddha's mum might be able to babysit.
I'm so excited if this happens, man. I'm fucking I've been pushing for it for 3 years, man.
Yeah, right.
It'll be fucking awesome.
Just because we've got so much content sitting there, we're not releasing it online.
Yeah,
all the stuff you've seen at 1 and 2, we're not releasing it because if we bring it to Sydney, it won't be fresh, and we know how much time it takes to bring all those sketches and edit and everything together.
Yeah.
So if we've already got the stuff ready to go, Sydney will see a culmination of 1 and 2, and it's almost like less work for a bigger reward.
So have you got a lot of support there, have you? Is that why you just want to go there?
We've got a little bit. Well, I think I was saying to the boys, we've got like 18% of our listeners are in Sydney, which is fucking a lot.
17 people.
Which is actually quite a lot, which is kind of cool. But I think it's more so the attention, cult followers really over there. They're
Buddha keeps saying that the over East gang keep hitting him up. So a lot of Reapers listeners.
Yeah, okay.
So even if we did, like, if we could get 300 and you just market it like a show anyway, you could probably fill it up with 80% listeners.
Yeah.
And then the other 20%, if they can get a name like Volk or like somebody.
Well, even DM us.
I think it'd be fine. I think
Yeah. Well, DM us as well. Like if you're a Sydney listener, which looks like we've got
or
quite a lot.
Even Melbourne, Sydney, anyway, because that's $75 flights. So they can actually fly there or drive there.
So DM us and let us know if you'd be keen, because then that gives us even us an accurate idea of what we could do, even if me and Delby were to go over and do a stand-up show in a 100-seater, like if that's possible, because we'd like to know like who actually really does want to come and see us. So that'd be kind of cool.
I'll tell you what was funny about Saturday night. I hope I don't get my head punched in, but
I was a cricketer there.
No.
Hey, don't say anything about my dick.
No, that too. But, no, the funny thing was, we're looking at those clips of those massive waves. They were ridiculous.
Oh,
they were just
hair-raising.
ridiculous. And the scrappy boys, some of them were just like, what the? Tough guys going, no way I would do that. Like, I mean, you see that and you just like, it's respect. Like, you just respect it. Like, what was that one on the rock?
Yeah,
He's
insane.
like just jacking up, and then that
straight onto the rock. It was hard balls.
And then he gets out and he's just like,
Yeah. So for people listening, it's there's like a fucking wave, like probably as double your roof maybe, or 1.5 times whatever your roof is, and it's pulling backwards into this massive rock that's sticking out of the water, and there's a tiny barrel just to the corner of it, and he was trying to surf that, and he. I won't ruin it, because if he releases it, you check it out. But
it is part of tension.
Nuts. Oh man, so nuts. I always wonder about when they fuck it up, they're holding their breath for that long.
Yeah,
and then whatever comes after it, or if you've got 2 or 3 sets,
I think that's the one.
Well, you hope you don't bloody hit the bottom and you like get winded.
Yeah,
that first initial impact as well. There's all those things probably like that you worry about. But I mean, I did a little bit of surfing when I lived in Tweed Heads. Sort of like Coolangatta, surfed there, Snapper, and I think the biggest wave I'd probably surf was 5 foot maybe, maybe 6 foot. They were nice like waves as well.
Yeah.
And that felt like massive, and it was like hectic. You get like dumped in that, and it was like holding your breath, and it's like.
So I used to bodyboard and started to surf as well until about 2014, until I did my shoulder, and then I just stopped, and I haven't surfed since.
Having a surf is so much upper body
strength. I'd literally, because of my shoulder issue, and I hadn't got the first operation, I would be paddling like this, and it would pop out. It would literally dislocate as I was. So I stopped.
Fuck,
but
man.
yeah,
well, that was a good life. I actually really enjoyed that lifestyle when I lived down there, because I was still. So what I'd do is I was training with Queensland, so I'd have to travel to the Gabba in the morning. So I was training in the mornings, and I'd come home, have a bit of a surf when I got back, just almost like a recovery as well.
Yeah,
I think it was like an 1.5 drive or 1:20 drive or something like that. So yeah, there's a fair bit of time on the road, go for a surf, and then I'd go do some, have something to eat, do a bit of gym, maybe go for a surf late in the afternoon as well.
Are you going to get back into surfing? Is that what Buddha said?
No way.
No, don't want to do
Not here. I'm just too scared, mate.
Yeah.
Too scared.
But you're right. Like,
it's a great feeling, but
but you're right. You see those scrappy MMA blokes, and they're fucking shitting. I'd shit it as well. Like, I used to surf, but nothing big. Like 5, 6, 7 footers. Like, and that's pretty sizable.
Pretty
you're like,
big.
well, fuck, that's.
I was loving the air that they were getting. Just
amazing
on the boogie boards, man. On the bodyboards. That's how I met Buddha. From when I was 10 years old, I used to go bodyboard down at Scarborough, catch the bus from fucking like Caversham.
You used to bodyboard?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
You were the opposite to that.
Well, that's before I got to Wanneroo. So I grew up. His mate Bob, his name at Matt Waglin. So we would catch the bus from fucking like the Swan Valley, nearly that area, and go to Scarborough, and then catch up and fucking bodyboard. And
did you go like raw dog?
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Have a rash. That's the worst.
I stopped. I remember when I stopped, man. I think it was at the beach with either Bob or Buddha one day, and like I just bus rode it, and my feet touched my head, and my back just went. And
I think we found the source of all your back issues.
I remember being like Saving Private Ryan, just on the beach, like going, fuck! I thought I'd paralyze myself. I was like, I'm done here.
I tried that. skimming board.
Yeah, that looks so fun.
Yeah.
That's like real like hectic as well. So
fucking oath.
I bought one in the West
Knee
Indies.
or
Standing.
Standing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So on the shore.
Mm.
I bought one in the West Indies one trip. I think it was like, I don't know if it was the 07 World Cup. And it was actually late great Andrew Simons. He wanted to have a go of it. So like I was going on it, and it's quite hectic because if you don't get it right, you're hitting the hard surface. And you're hitting it hard. Like proper hard. So he went to jump on it, but both feet at the same time. And he's gone like sort of front ways a little bit. And he just went back, and you hear this like massive thud. And it's like winded him.
Fuck.
And he sort of like looked up, and then he sort of got up and dusted himself off and just like walked away.
Now we know.
He's a big boy.
Now he knows how that streaker felt.
Yeah. Exactly.
Whack.
Was that you, the streaker?
No.
I didn't want to say anything. But I went skimboarding New Year's Day this year, like down in Albany with my nephew, and he's a fucking freak at it.
Yeah.
And he was trying to get me to do it the stand up. I do the knee ones and but he was doing the stand up one, and so it was a bit of a windy day. And I got it going. I was doing it pretty well, and I got so confident. And then as I chucked it down, a gust of wind sort of like got it, and it fucking went into my, because they're sort of like, it's all like razor sharp almost on the edge, and it fucking went into my shin, full just pissing blood. And I stopped after that.
That happened to me before Up and Joke. I fucking ran into the edge of the stage. Oh my God. That was like, my fucking knee was throbbing till yesterday.
I was like, fuck, Delby looks stressed. I need to help him. And then I just seen you going, and I was like, he's hurt himself.
I ran like fucking sprint start. My second knee went straight into the corner of the fucking stage. So the whole night I was like,
yeah, because I literally walked after you to like, fuck, he looks like he's stressing out. I thought you were stressing.
But I was stressing. I was stressing so hard, man. Because went there to set up. Everything was perfect. And like sound run was A1 the day before. Plugged in my lappy. The fucking sound wasn't working, so the video's playing, sound's not working, freaking out.
Through the aux?
HDMI.
Oh, yeah.
Realised it was because I didn't plug the other end into the sound system. So I've gone plug that in, and then all of a sudden, I've got it working, sick. Now the fucking screen's off, completely pitch black, and now I'm trying to change the settings, going, what the fuck?
Oh, and
someone had turned the projector off. Like actually off, man. So I'm like, fuck. And it took about an hour 20, and then Max Shane was doing the mics check for Who's Rhyme. And then when we started, the feedback immediately was like, so we had to stand back, which meant we had to turn it down a bit. So the people at the back, I was listening to the Reapers pod, like the people at the back couldn't quite hear. I think it was because of that feedback, which is quite frustrating, but it's one of those things where got to do it with the show.
Yeah.
And if we had the speakers any more forward, you saw how hammered even Johnny Gray, like if they had been around the speaker.
Johnny Gray.
All over.
Oh, fuck. That
was the big guy, eh?
Yeah, in the interactive game. His strategy was incredible.
Did he just stand there and say, bring it to me?
So
mate, I'm a little hazy on that. So I must have been a bit drunker than I remember.
The interactive, so the idea was to make it more interactive, like you said, and get, because we were closer, make sure everyone was part of it. So me and Buddha were trying to think of what's a good interactive game. And I remembered when I was in the Generator Hostel in London, they made us do a scavenger hunt. And one of the tasks was completely swap underwear with the opposite sex.
Yeah, right.
Did that on stage. Had to eat half a lemon, scull someone's drink, go out, find a makeshift dildo, and collect all this stuff from the crowd. So we did Up and Joke. It was just collect a condom, a full drink, somebody's bra, and swap pants with someone else. So the idea is they're going to go out and everyone in the crowd is going to help them out, which is what happened. But that was in my mind. John Gray in his raunchy enhanced goodness, everyone else ran off and he stood there. Well, stood is a loose term. He stumbled up to the stage and stood, and he just got people to bring shit to him. But he couldn't change pants because he was too maggot.
Also,
I thought there was more problems. I thought he was in serious trouble. Not drunk. I was. He was like trying to.
He was in slow motion. It was honestly slow motion, like a sloth.
It was so good.
Where did all the raunchy start coming from? because we had like 4 raunchy beers on the table, and it just kept on like everyone kept on saying they were drinking raunchy.
Yeah, because we
just keep
Ian
getting-
dropped off 8 cartons or
Yeah,
something
so-
before backstage, so I went and bought some ice and chucked it in the esky.
And we weren't meant to drink any of that. That was meant to be giveaways, and we weren't allowed to. I don't think allegedly for the
really?
licensing.
Didn't realise that.
But I think they fucking made enough money.
Oh
as
yeah,
it is, so.
and when the bar closed, I think people went and got some people got kicked out for allegedly doing some form of substance in the green room.
Really?
It was no performance, just random shit. The manager was like, "We had to kick someone out. There's cameras." I was like, "Oh,
I think I'll talk about that after.
okay."
But
Yeah.
fuck, it was an awesome night. I don't think it could have really gone any better. Like maybe potentially sound, but like that's a slight thing that we could have fixed.
And
but-
from where you were sitting, it was all good because of the extra screens and stuff.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it was a good spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we're happy there.
Yeah.
Weren't in front and center, so it was good.
Yeah.
No, it was bloody
It
cool.
was-
Your highlight reel was cool. What Whitey did with you and Della and then a few of the other guests. It was a sick G up, man.
I can't
Seeing-
remember it.
You lived it.
Yeah.
So we had all the previous guests on. So we showed Della's knockouts, your
Oh,
wickets,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
like Swanee and
Swanee got a good
Dave
pop.
Reynolds. Yeah, because
Yeah.
Swanee's a fucking
Everyone
legend,
fucking loves
bro.
that cunt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Have you
guess.
met Swanee?
No, I haven't met him. No.
Man. He's great on sportsman's nights because he's got so many stories
Yeah.
that are just fucking like hilarious.
He knows
could
what
do
he's doing.
stand-up.
He knows
Yeah.
what he's doing now. Eh? Yeah.
Yeah, 100.
So before you were talking about training and the Hulk.
Hulk.
Yeah, that was fucking nuts, man. Did you win?
Of course, mate.
So I
That
know
was easy.
I know it was charity, but like obviously you got to be prepared
Yeah.
to fight a fucking.
And what's the weight difference?
Jesus.
And yeah, tell us about it.
So I think the weight difference was about 35 to 40 kilos.
Oh, it's just
I
a
think
little
he
bit.
was
Yeah.
Fucking.
I think he was close to 140 kilos.
Yeah.
the Hulk.
And people that don't know, Hulk Palalay,
Yeah.
Says last
So
name?
Palalela.
Palalela, is an ex-UFC fighter.
Ex-UFC and Pride fighter.
Mm.
If it was an MMA fight, I would have said no.
yeah.
And I still probably should have said no to a boxing match. But no, look, the whole experience, it was more about, because originally I was keen to do an MMA fight.
Fuck yeah.
And then this came up and I thought, why don't I give this a crack? Just, it's a good way to get into something like this, to see how I feel, the experience of it all. It's not like those corporate boxing nights. There's a lot more control about it.
Okay.
So you're fighting against professionals.
Yeah.
They're all professional fighters, and I'm the amateur. And they take you through. I think it was like a 12-week training program. Some of the people train actually all year round.
Wow.
Some of the amateurs, they just like the boxing and they like the fitness of it. So there was a session every Saturday that everyone would go to. I came in late, so I had about 6 weeks work with him.
And do they document this? Like, they film it all behind the scenes, or is it just like a one-night thing?
There's a little bit, but it was more of a one-night thing, yeah. And a lot of them are like corporate people as well that get involved, and you sort of, you're raising some money, like some serious money, which is good. So yeah, I mean, the whole experience was, it's to get dressed up, get your hands wrapped. You come out to music.
Sick.
I came out to Top Gun, I think it was. I thought about, doing something a bit more serious, but I was like, nah, this is a bit of fun.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool to come out in Danger Zone.
That's sick.
Yeah,
So I
and,
actually think you get your own intro music. I love that.
It's hard picking your own stuff,
Fuck
though.
yeah.
Like, 'cause
Yeah.
you're like, and
What?
even like the name, I went with the Beast.
Yeah.
So the reason I went with that was an old fitness trainer of mine who's 6'7", big Mendo, used to call me the Beast when I was at training in the gym
Yeah.
and things like that. So I thought, why don't I use that? And I'll use
Beast
the
versus
Beast.
the
and
Hulk.
Versus the Hulk, yeah. So it sort of worked pretty well. I was a pretty small beast to the Hulk, but it's just that whole experience walking out, family and friends there and all people watching. And I found it a little bit, I don't like when people are so close watching. Like I could play in front of, millions of people, like, or 100,000 people at the MCG, or, people watching at home, millions of people, Indians, Australians, whatever. But the focus felt like in a boxing ring, everyone's like really focused on you.
Right
Yeah.
there.
You
Whereas,
can't
like,
blame
cricket-
you can't blame your teammates for dropping
No,
a
you
cat.
can't blame your
Yeah,
teammates. Yeah, it's all that stuff. And cricket, there's a distance people are watching you from, and so it felt really a bit weird at first. But then,
You
So
can
you
hear
love-
people going, the Beast is going to get fucked up.
So you
I could hear it at the
stand-up
start.
comedy.
yeah, absolutely love it. But I walked out, And, you know, the atmosphere was pretty cool. I was like one of the last fights. And my cornerman, I had the Scrappy boys in there. I had Josh
sick.
Della and Ryan Gray.
Yeah.
And they were frothing, man. They were just like, oh, how good's this? Like, I'm doing like warming up in the back and they're going, oh, this is going to be awesome. You just like listen and we'll like help you through it. And, you know, helped me through training as well as when I wasn't training with SOA. So
you
get out
trained
there.
together
I
and then fought
trained
each
with
other.
SOA, yeah.
Wow.
So that was sort of part of it. Is like, so we knew, you know, sort of each other a bit and how it was going to sort of work out. It wasn't staged,
Yeah.
but it was just like, you know, you work with that person and you sort of get used to,
Yeah.
you know, what each sort of person is about.
And did you both pull your punches?
Wasn't pulled punches, but it wasn't flat out.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like we didn't go in there trying to knock each other's heads off.
Yeah.
So I remember like going in with the referee, and Soa's put his head straight into my noggin, and I'm thinking, I've missed the memo. I'm thinking this is actually going to be a serious fight, like, not like because he's like, at the start it was like, oh no, look, we'll look after you. You know, it's not like we're trying to take your head off, and you know, we'll throw a few like decent punches, but you know. Anyway, he's like into me. I'm like,
Fucking hell.
I've missed the memo massively. Yeah, I'm starting to freak
just
out
a
a
good
bit.
actor.
And then I was like, a good actor.
Yeah.
And then I went back, and then it was like, all right, I had that tunnel vision. It was like I was playing cricket again. Like I had that focus.
Yeah.
So I couldn't hear anything. Couldn't hear like the corner. I couldn't hear. Occasionally hear like a scream, like go Mitch or like go Soa.
Yeah.
You could sort of hear a little bit of that, but mostly it was just like I was focused on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, the first round was like he come in and he's like threw about 4 punches straight up. He clipped me across the nose, like the first, like it was like a left hook, and I'm like going, oh, that actually got me all right. And so, but we had headgear on and stuff like that, and so then I started moving around, and we moved a fair bit, and I think he gassed out in that first one. Like, I was like, oh, all right. And then the second round, it sort of, you know, we sort of started to do a bit more combos, started to move a bit more, and then the last round, it was a little bit more like, you know, it's still doing those combo, you're moving, and it's maybe try and go for a little bit of a harder punch here and there, but it was, look, it was just all
So
about...
was it 3 rounds?
3 rounds.
Yeah. 2 minutes?
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Might have been 3 2s.
And how was your
3-3s.
tank? Because I know just boxing is a whole different level of fitness.
Fuck, it's
Yeah, I
different.
was cooked at the end because obviously it was my first time getting in the ring, so that adrenaline, it's that adrenaline that builds up. So you got to like try and control that.
Yeah.
And so because I'd been in those situations of knowing that I'm going to get that adrenaline rush, I sort of felt like I had it under control a little bit.
Yeah.
But at the end, I was still pretty cooked.
Yeah.
Like that last round, like, you know, when you're throwing punches and someone's coming at you, you've got to move all the time. Boxing, you know, doing the MMA training is, you know, it gasses you as well. But then boxing was another sort of type of way of getting gassed as well, because you're in range all the time. You've got to move.
Yeah.
Head movement.
Does your holding your hands up gas you out? That fucking takes it out of me. Just always having my hands
well,
up.
that's the thing. Like, you've got to learn that, I guess, that awareness of being in the ring when you can take your hands down to have that break, being out of range. So that's the stuff that you kind of learn in the 12 weeks that you're with the professionals.
Do you,
Would you
it
take
was really good.
SAS or a boxing match with Hulk? Which one would you take? If you had
What do you mean?
Well, the SAS training that you did, you would have been gassed versus a 12-round fight.
Yeah.
They're different.
Yeah?
I don't know.
Is one more mental or one more physical? Or
I think they're both mental.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
One's
you're
just
using-
don't lose consciousness.
I don't know. I'd probably rather do a boxing match. But
Yeah. Because you've put yourself through fucking heaps, man. So credit to you. Like doing that, doing SAS, doing everything you've been doing.
Well, I've
You're
just
training, you've just fit. What do you like, a
I've
purple
just
belt or what?
I've just started karate
Yeah?
because my family's in karate. My daughter actually just won the Australian Open
You?
Yes,
in Sydney
yeah.
recently. So,
good. Yeah.
no, I've got to keep up with the family, mate.
Is that what you're doing at Scrappy?
So
Or-
at Scrappy, I'm doing the MMA stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then my wife has it's Yosakan Ro karate. I hope I said that right.
I used to do that when I was a kid. Yoshikan,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah, so her dad is a ninth Dan. So he's right up there, and he's got his own karate school he's built over a long period of time. And finally, my little son now, he's 7, so he's just started karate, and he's actually going into his first tournament this weekend
Sick.
in the Pee-wees.
What do
He's a
they
little
do in
weapon.
that? What do they do? Because
It's a weapon.
When I
love
was
it.
7, I remember this very, very specifically. This is a life trauma event for me.
Yeah, right.
Trauma.
Yeah, so I was doing my Carter. I'm going for
Yep.
my grading, right? Then we had to do, it was called sparring. No one had
Yep.
ever explained it to me. So I fucking lined this kid up and I side kicked this cunt like fucking right in the stomach, man. And he folded in half and was like, "Ugh," started crying. And I'm
How old
like,
was he, 5?
No, same age. Yeah, I was this age as a kid. So we were both like 7, and I hit him so sweet. And I'm pumped. I'm like, woo!
Yeah.
And then his mother comes over, you horrible little boy. You horrible little boy. I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah, you thought it
he's
was-
crying, and I didn't know you're supposed to just pretend like fight, not actually fuck them up, man.
Oh.
So I went out. Everyone else, like, I think I was orange belt. They're like, yes. And then this woman come and told me I was a horrible boy and like I was
no.
mean, I was a bully. And that's been imprinted into my brain forever.
That's
So-
bad by that mum.
Bad.
Yeah, but
by
I
mum.
did kick the fuck out of a kid.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's what
It
you're
is, you
trained to do.
yeah. So is
No,
that what they
it's-
do, or what's the go?
It's at the Pee-wee age, it's about control and learning. So they're learning about how to bow when they come in and the rules of it. So they won't be allowed to strike to the head. They can kick and punch to the body. They've got padding on and stuff like that now. Look, they're not supposed to. I don't think they're supposed to do it as hard as they can at this age. It's more about learning. But
Is that
as
when
they
the
get
dad
older,
just sits over in the corner and you look for him like,
Yeah.
yeah, fuck it.
it's quite good to watch. Like it's cute, but
Yeah.
it's also like I understand the whole discipline behind it and the control of it. But my daughter's 10, right, and she's competing a lot more now, and punches and kicks to the body is hard. Like you're trying to hit
Yeah.
someone, so you're trying to score a point, but they also do a controlled punch and kick to the head.
Yeah, right.
I don't know exactly the rules. I think it's the side of the head with the kicks, and it has to be almost like a tap.
Yeah.
But watching this Australian Open recently in Sydney, and there was a couple of brutal hits to the face.
Yeah.
And, you actually don't get the point for it sometimes because if it's too hard,
You've lost control.
Sounds like AFL right now.
yeah, pretty much.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
so
yeah, it's an interesting sport, but
Yeah,
it's,
because it would be about controlling. and-
controlled
yeah.
aggression.
but it's to the body. It's pretty much go as hard as you want.
so I was kind of in the right.
Yeah, I mean, technically, I think you were.
Right.
But I'll find out this weekend.
Yeah, yeah.
Because, like I said, the son is he always wants to fight me. He's like, so this is why he wants me to go to karate so he can fight me.
Yeah, right.
He wants to, like,
You're gonna have to
punch me.
teach him a real lesson,
Oh,
just so he doesn't
give
offer
him a
out anybody.
backhand
Yeah.
or
What's
maybe a side kick to the. Where you reckon?
Yeah, just straight in the guts.
Buckle him.
Yeah. Haruken. But
It's amazing when you're a kid and the first time you get to beat your dad at anything, like on purpose,
Oh,
like
bro.
without them. Like I remember the first time
My
I beat
dad
dad
never
at a
let me
running
do that.
race.
mate,
Like
Yeah.
it's not physical, so the physical
Yeah.
strength side of things. But I remember beating him in a running race, 12, 13 years old.
I've got
Yeah.
another.
And I was
trauma
like,
event.
I've done it. This
Yeah.
is it. I've beaten him. So
Fuck, I have another trauma event. My dad would never let me win anything, right?
but that's good, man.
So we did karate, and I
Yeah.
was showing him a move. So
Yeah.
I'm like 9.
yeah.
It's weird what comes up. I haven't spoken about this for like 25 years, 30 years. I'm showing him a move, and I'm like, no, Dad, you got to go here. And he goes, no, I'll just do this. And then I'm like, no, but you have to do this. He's like, no, I'll just do this. And then he fucking grabbed my feet and bit my fucking toes. And I'm like, ah. He goes, what if I do this? And Mum's like, let him fucking do your move, Charlie. And he just wouldn't let me do the move. So I ended up crying and going to bed.
What the fuck? That's trauma.
Yeah, but
man.
it was good because it showed me that in a real life scenario, I can't just go, hang on, you go here. I'm going to do this and fuck you up. So
There's no way I ever let Scotty score a basketball. Like, we'd be like, oh, let's get that shit out of here.
So is that when you stopped doing karate?
yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I had a disfigured foot for the rest of my life. Yeah, but yeah, I kind of stopped after that. Yeah.
How good would you be at biting now? Because you've got that Joe
The
Rogan.
jaw exercise.
Oh,
hasn't
mate,
come
you gotta
yet.
be a
I've
good
ordered
biter.
it, but I'm gonna. Yeah,
when
yeah.
we biting feet, left,
And
right,
I got
centre.
veneers though, so I'm a bit worried because if I'm like these 4 are fake,
Yeah, right.
if I'm using the jaw society, me and Branchy just I think did we say on the pod? Yeah, we did. Yeah, that we
that
both
you-
ordered it and it's coming
Yeah,
in
at the start. Yeah.
So,
So how's random's that? We both got it. We're both a victim of the
algorithm.
Huberman or whoever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
They've
it's been shown me about 20 times, and finally I've just gone, fuck it,
Same.
I'll get it.
Same. That's exactly what I did.
Yeah.
But the only thing is, I bought and then I realized like my mouth doesn't open very wide.
Yeah.
What if I can't get it in? Like
We
that's
learned
it.
that with the dominatrix
yeah.
episode. So
That's it. What if I can't get it in?
No, you'll
Maybe
be right.
that'd
It
be
looks
strength
great.
work.
Maybe it might
open up a bit. Yeah. We had Gorilla Kyra one come and crack our jaws open as well.
Yeah, he said I need to work.
Yeah, I had a massage the other day, and that part of my jaw is so sore.
Was that the
Yeah.
Indian bloke again?
I'm gonna get a few.
But did they hit it in there? Or
Yeah,
they
just just rub, and it's
Yeah.
like, but I've done it to myself as well, a bit of self massage.
Yeah.
You get sore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he said to do that.
Yeah, Dr. Gleason fucking like rammed it, but that's because he felt it here. I got my jaw knocked out when I was 11 or 12 in under 12s footy, and it would lock up.
Yeah.
And then over time, it's just created this big thing, and he smashed it out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get.
Mine was clicky as well. Like one of my mates uppercutted me at school.
Yeah. That's how I
always
got my
like,
veneers. A kid uppercutted me.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so free workers comp for these four.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fucking
But
awesome.
I'm gonna get a couple of massages. I'm heading to Thailand tomorrow. I'm gonna get a couple of good massages. I'm going with my daughter. So
Legit.
But I wonder if they do like jaw and stuff. I know they do neck.
I wouldn't trust them with that. I wouldn't trust them.
Yeah, the Thai ones, like the massages, are good though.
Oh yeah.
Mate, they actually like I've been going to the one at Whitford's actually.
Yeah.
It's just they're closed at the moment, but they're quite good. The Thai stuff is a bit more like they're stronger. They give you a bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
It's a bit more remedial.
Yeah.
Yes.
I need that hard as whatever I get. I like them to fucking just physically break down that myofascia.
The only
smash it out.
Stand on you.
The only thing is
Yeah,
when I get that full body massage or what they do some stuff to the shoulder, and my shoulder's so fucked.
Yeah.
And they have no empathy for it, and they'll move it and just I'll be like, I can't do it. It doesn't move. I've got a fucking plate in there. It's stuck, cunt.
Yeah.
But so I get afraid of that. So I always get like
This is pissing me off, the black flicking.
Yeah, the black flicking. We've got to sort your camera out. It always pisses. I always get the head and shoulder. That they just do it from
knees and toes.
above. Yeah, and or feet. The feet is good.
Yeah.
It just feels good.
Yeah.
But, I wonder if Scotty's actually going to, like, I'll take her to do a foot massage or something. I wonder if she'll let him do it.
Have they got the feet fish?
Oh, there's no way she'd do that.
Reckon?
No, or maybe.
I reckon it's good, man. I looked into I was like, I wonder if I could do some aquaponics here, but they're illegal here.
Isn't that really like unhygienic?
Probably.
Nah, because the fish, to survive, they need to eat your dead skin. Otherwise,
Yeah, but the water?
I don't think so, because any bit of
the
disease.
thousands of feet that are in there.
Yeah.
have been
Well,
in there.
potentially if there's an open sore, maybe. Yeah. But
Yeah, that's what.
Well, you
I
find
put
out.
my feet in it. I put my face in it. I put my face in it in Bali when I was like 18 or 19. I'm like, I'm going to get these to eat my face. I didn't even think about the thing.
But what about what's with the MMA, the rolling and stuff? You're just doing it just for fun, or?
Are you purple belt or blue belt?
No,
White belt?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
yeah. I never went up in belts, but with the jiu-jitsu stuff. But I'd like to get back into it and try and go for my belts there. But yeah, I'm just doing the training at Scrappies at the moment with all the pros and the amateurs there.
Pretty
So
cool.
How crazy.
Put myself into that. And
You got to roll with Jack Della.
Well, I stay away from Jack, to be honest. But like in the warm up and stuff like that, like you do a few drills and stuff like that, and you see like how well he moves, and he's just doing it.
You know what trips
pretty
me out,
easy.
man, is before he made UFC, he lost 1 or 2 fights
Yeah.
to people. Like, who are those guys? You know? Or was it that
But also
they
he's
were
probably
great, or was
developing.
he learning?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
like, I always think about that
It's
stuff.
not often
like
you see
some
someone
of the greats.
Yeah, it's not often you see someone fucking 28 and
Yeah.
like they're the elite. Like,
Well, I think it was his first 2, possibly,
Yeah.
and then he went 9-2 or something like that, or something like ridiculous like
Yeah.
that. So he ended up fighting one of the guys that he lost to, and then beat him.
Nice.
yeah, okay.
Yeah,
It's good when when you can come back from something like that.
Yeah.
You know, like losing your first 2 fights, you'd be so disheartened, and then you go on this crazy streak.
Surely losing's good for anyone because it sort of directs you, focuses you.
Forces you to be.
Because if you
work
just
on your
kept on
weaknesses.
winning and with just ease,
Yeah.
it's just like we were talking about our kids and stuff like that before. Like if you just let them score a basket on you, Scotty, like
Yeah.
they're going to think it's easy. And when they go
Yeah.
against kids who are actually talented or fighters when they're older or whatever,
yeah.
they're not going to be able to beat them.
Well, I feel like in the fight game, it's an interesting one, because you don't really want to lose too many.
No.
Maybe early on in your career, like when you're in the amateurs, or I don't know. It seems like an interesting one because you don't want
You
to
lose.
be losing too many there, getting your head punched in.
Yeah.
I think it was good. Like was it Adesanya said it. like the loss had given him drive.
Yeah,
gave him direction, motivation, some stuff like
listen
that.
But he was obviously pretty comfortable where he was at,
Yeah.
possibly at that point of time. Was pretty comfortable and happy
and rightfully so. He's fucking dominating,
killing it.
And listen to Benny Vickers on the Reapers podcast when he was on with Jack. He was saying how guys avoid the hard fights because they don't want that L on their sheet.
Yeah.
Trying to get into UFC with his record and then getting fucked up. So they actually dodge hard matchups, which is worse for them as a fighter.
Their development,
Yeah, I spoke to Ben about that as well. And I always try and have a little bit of, it's not a comparison of sports, but like I think about when I played cricket and I get asked the question of, who do you want to get out? I was like, well, the best players. I want to be playing the best, guys that are at their peak.
Yeah.
Like it was always like generally the top 4 guys in the team, like batsman wise, are your best players.
No matter who it is, you always want to be playing the best because you want to beat the best.
Yeah, because that's how I felt too. Like, and even when I was at my peak, it was like it's amazing what your confidence is like. You're coming up against the best guys, but you have a confidence about you that you can beat them.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a belief thing and a bit of confidence / ego sometimes. So
it's all necessary.
That's why I found when we were talking about it with Ben and saying like some fighters dodge it, it's like they're probably the guys that aren't going to maybe be at the top. Or
or it might get a foot in the door, but it won't benefit them as a fighter.
Yep.
Yeah.
And also with all the UFC stuff, I think we spoke about it before the pod. Are you seeing people come around more to it now? Is that what you were saying? Do you want to talk about that? Or
I mean, I did write it. I think I've written 2 articles now on the UFC and Jack, and I think the first one I wrote, like it was quite funny. I don't know if the Sunday Times were that keen on it, but I think me training there and getting some insight into how training is, made a big difference because I guess myself when I rocked up there, I just thought these guys are going to be like rough as guts and like you look at them and look the wrong way and they're going to like kick your head in. But I was pretty open minded as well when I do walk into these places. And so, just sort of going there and seeing these guys, the way that they train, the way that they are as people, they're actually like,
most of the time they're the nicest blokes ever, eh?
Yeah, they're unbelievable. Like they're just such nice people. But they just get in the ring and that's it.
Have you found that? Because we have often been critics of the mainstream media, and we have mainstream media on.
Oh yeah, no, but I read your articles, and they're not mainstream media articles. No. They're not like
their opinion.
They're not
which is good.
They are biased, but like they're your bias, but
they're
honest. You give honest, constructive feedback on whatever.
Do you get sent? Do you write something and they go, "We can't put that in," or is it whatever you decide they'll run with? I've always wondered this.
I haven't had anything taken out.
That's pretty good.
It's all been pretty good. And I've written a few articles that have been, you'd think, touch and go.
Yeah, that's sick.
I just
that's refreshing.
Well, this weekend last weekend, I did on the booing.
Yeah.
I haven't read that.
Which was, they're quite hard because the topics, I feel like you don't want to upset anyone, but it's also, you've got to tell it how it is, how you see it.
Yeah.
How did you see it? Because I haven't read that article.
I don't like booing in general. I don't think it's right. In certain situations, I don't think, someone's receiving an award, the Anzac Day award.
That's stupid.
That's horrible. I also look at it and go, well, a fan has the right to view the game how they like.
Yeah.
As long as you're not abusing someone, I think there's nothing wrong with it. Like a little bit of booing here and there, like it's not going to hurt anyone.
As if Buddy Franklin would have cared about being booed when he got the footy on game day. That's surely a thing of like when you're playing anyway. Like that's a sign of like they think I'm fucking elite. They're booing me to put me off.
He was fine. I don't think he had any problems with it. But I also look at it in another way, right? You go as a sportsman, we're happy being cheered for.
Yeah. Get some resilience.
So you got to build some resilience.
Yeah.
And also it's not always going to be like your way.
Yeah. And it's a home ground advantage for a reason.
Yeah.
Your fans are trying to do what they can to help their team win. And if you're weak-minded enough to be put off by a fucking sound, then power to the crowd.
But I do agree with what you said, like booing at an end.
Never boo an award.
Yeah, I didn't like what happened at the UFC as well. Like the what's his name? The Russian bloke.
Oh yeah,
he got booed at the end
after he fought Volk.
Yeah,
Khabib. No, not Khabib. Fuck.
What the fuck?
Hell blank.
We're all having blanks.
No Magomedov? No, that's Khabib again. Anyway, we're all blanked here.
It starts with M, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, all of the UFC.
Chev?
I really follow it that closely.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the people booing, like I just thought that's just disrespectful. He was very respectful.
Makachev?
I think that was it.
Yeah.
But I didn't like that. I just thought it was wrong. He was being respectful. He won the fight.
Yeah.
It wasn't his decision.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't make the decision. So
and he's very respectful as well.
Yeah, but the other thing is on the article I wrote was about if you want crowds to behave, then I think players have to also be aware of their behaviour as well, because that does drive the crowd sometimes. So like the stuff that's happening in recent times with players goading and being physical with other players when they miss a goal, I don't know how you feel on that, but I don't think it's right.
I don't mind it. I think it's okay as long as you can back it up. If they miss a goal, you should get into them mentally.
I think mentally, yes, but not touching and physically like putting hands on someone.
Yeah, I would bump them, but I wouldn't put my hands on them.
So maybe bump them as you walk past, but don't.
Yeah.
You see those, what was it, 5 guys on that?
Ryan Clark and Dacos?
Yeah, they were all on him.
So the thing about, especially our footy, we used to have guys who were in the gun as well. So you'd have a guy you're getting into all day. No matter what. Yeah. So you'd be like fucking, I don't know, Buddy Franklin. He's in the gun tonight. Yeah. So every time you fucking walk past him, someone fucking give him one. Someone fucking get in his ear. Like that was just tactics. That was just fun. Yeah. Got a bit away from that towards the end of when I was playing at footy. It was more about let's stick to your role and whatnot. Yeah. But my issue as I matured as a footballer was at the start of when I was younger, I'd be fucking bumping, fucking chicken wing out, being a dickhead. Like
so much energy.
But then you realise you open yourself up to like, as soon as you've done that, one, they're going to start coming at you. And then two, you can look like a fucking dickhead in return. Because if you start doing that and then he runs down the wing and fucking kicks a goal, who's he fucking coming to first? Yeah. Like he's going to come straight up to you. And so it's at your own
best though, eh?
It's at your own risk a little bit. So like I love that cunt who had the ball for Collingwood and he dropped it.
I didn't like that.
No, I didn't like that. Yeah. I thought he was a fucking dickhead. But then who was it kicked the goal?
I can't remember who it was.
Langford maybe.
Langford
kicked the goal and he just went back and he just clapped at him like.
But
if you're going to be a dickhead, you got to take the karma.
It is interesting because, and it's good coming from someone who's played the game, because I guess when I played cricket, I would have the sledging side of it. I guess talk about like sledging. So yeah, I mean, there's that side of it.
I think it's always you just do it at your own risk because you can.
You've got to be able to back it. You've got to be able to back it up.
And the problem is they've now tried to turn it into a race issue as well. They're saying that Buddy was being booed because he's Aboriginal, which I completely disagree with. But then Eddie Betts said if Buddy thinks it's racist, then it's racist, which I completely disagree with. But I haven't lived that experience. But if I'm booing him because he's a fucking awesome player, for you to just say that I'm booing him because of his race completely takes away everything he's achieved throughout his whole career. Yeah, I'd be booing Buddy because he's their best player and I want to put him off.
So the difference, I think, like Adam Goods when that happened.
Yeah, that was stupid.
That was fucked. They were booing him because he started standing up against racism, and they were like, "Fucking." Everyone was saying, "Stop whinging, stop fucking." That's when the booing started. Yeah, but he's got a very good right to fucking stand up against racism. Yeah, whereas Buddy hasn't said anything, nothing. But they weren't booing him, and I don't know what was said to him. It might have been sledges on.
I think they started booing him because he went up and hit someone at the very start of the game.
Yeah. Perfect. So that's why. Yeah. But regardless, but it's fine to boo Buddy.
Yeah. Like, if I was Buddy, I'd just be going, they're saying booty. Like, they're just not pronouncing the rest of my name.
But he's also like, he's a jet. Yeah. He's a fucking gun. Yeah. Like, the crowd loves to hate on the good player of the opposition.
Yep.
So, but the last bit
is why I never got booed.
The last bit was upcoming Ashes. I'm so out of touch with that. Does the Ashes happen every year?
Who knows?
I don't know. Like, is it?
It's happening. Yeah, very often.
Yeah, because was it meant originally like once every 2 years or something, or is it? Now
it's a 4-year cycle in your home, right? So for Australia, it'd be a 4-year cycle. So you have it here, and then
2 years later ish.
Yeah, so 2 years you go over.
Yep.
Right.
Next 2 years it'd be back here. So 4 years.
Okay. That makes sense. Because I always felt like it was every year, but people were saying it's every 4 years. And I never.
Yes. There was a period of time where it felt like it was every year. But
how'd you think
scheduling and stuff like that. But
what do you think of, was it Broad saying he just doesn't count the last Ashes?
Right, because I lost. No resilience.
I just laugh at that. I'm just like, why? He does it all the time though. That's what he tries to stir the pot.
Yeah.
But it wasn't very smart. Like to say that, like it's just dumb.
Yeah. What? Because they absolutely got the piss taken out of them. Like, yeah.
So that's the only reason. Like it's just to stir the pot. It happens around Ashes time all the time. There'll be comments that are made just to like build it up.
Yeah.
But this one will be a bit different because they've got the World Test Championship happening before it. So against India.
Oh yes.
I think that is in was it the Oval or something? So they're playing that first. So that's for the number 1 and 2 sides play off. That's only a new sort of part to cricket, Test cricket over the last couple of years. But so they'll play that, and then they've got the Ashes, which is 5 matches, and it's going to be in. So they're over there for I think 6 matches all up with that World T Championship. So they're there for 7 weeks and they're going to play 6 matches.
Yeah, right.
So it's really full on schedule. Before it was like you're there for 3-4 months.
Yeah, right.
And you're traveling around, you're having a good time. Like join up on the bus, and you get to interact with each other, like get to know each other a bit more. And
who's the top 2 ranked at the moment? Australia and India.
Yeah, I don't know where England is, but there's a lot going on with England. They're talking about this Bazball. They've just had a few injuries come up. Like they've got Jofra Archer, which is
I saw that in today's paper.
Which is a shame. There's so much talent there, but
you want
playing up.
He's good to watch.
You want to see the 2 best.
Exactly. You want
to
see all the best players. I think Jimmy Anderson's got a bit of an injury scare. He's 56 at the moment playing.
Yeah, fuck.
Unbelievable.
And still incredible. Just like a McGrath, like
he's
just
got
fucking
it on
bang.
a string.
Hit the
he's got it on a string. In those conditions in England, he just knows how to bowl with a juke ball. It's incredible what he does there.
Have you got any involvement? You commentating or anything? Or?
No. I did try and get over there. I spent 2019. I spent the first 3 tests over there. Watched the famous Headingley match where Stokes got him back and won the match. It was pretty hair raising actually. It was pretty amazing time. But look, it's going to be interesting because they're talking about this Bazball, and that's basically based around them playing a more aggressive game. And I look at it and I think it's quite funny that they think it's something new because it's not. It's something that's been done. You look at the West Indies. The West Indies played in the 80s. They played that brand of cricket, was very aggressive with their bowling attack. Bowled like short. They were aggressive in your face. They just dominated.
Yep.
Then you look at the Australian cricket team through probably like the late 90s, or through the 90s to early 2000s. They had quite a high strike rate. Or run rate through that time as well. They had some pretty intimidating batsmen with like Matthew Hayden, Gilchrist.
Yeah,
they were playing an aggressive style of cricket.
Yeah,
this is why I find it funny because that was happening before. But then you look at England; they're talking about Bazball. The difference, I guess, is that there's been a lot more T20 cricket being played, so there's a lot of that come into their way that they're playing the game.
Yeah.
So I think they're Harry Brooks, I think it is. There's a lot of talk about him and the way he's playing the game. His strike rate is, stupid at the moment. Like, it's not Test match cricket strike rates.
Yeah.
So they're playing definitely a more
Jack Deller
aggressive
in cricket form.
Yeah, pretty much. Like just knocking blokes out early. But it's going to be interesting. The thing I don't like about it is there's no focus on the bowlers. So where does that leave the bowlers in this situation? They're talking about flatter tracks. They're talking about making the pitches flatter than normal, no grass. But they're making also, or there's talk about smaller grounds
to hit bigger.
More
to try and make it more entertaining, or
But it's called a test for a reason.
Exactly. And then there was actually an article that's come out today. I think it was today anyway. Talking about, and it was actually Brendan McCullum, the England coach, talking about, other formats of the game are dying. T20 cricket's really taken off.
Yeah. And
it has. Like there's the IPL is extending every time, it's getting longer and longer.
Yeah.
It's been talked about it being like a 6-month season.
Yeah, wow.
Being like a Premier League, like the England Premier League.
Wow. You wouldn't be able to play anywhere else nearly.
Well, you wouldn't be able to.
Yeah.
Exactly
and
right.
the money would be too good to even go anywhere else.
Exactly. Which is a bit scary. But then you've got the IPL have got like franchises around the world as well. So they're in South Africa with a team, the UAE, I think in the US League. They've got a team there. So they're sort of they're really getting.
And UAE, have they got the 10 over
they have
format?
I actually got asked to play in that as well.
Yeah, would you do it or not?
Nah. I mean, obviously pay would be pretty nice, but I don't need to be doing that. No.
We can offer you an indoor contract if you want.
There's been a few of those floating around. Don't worry. I've been asked to play Super League in recent times. Yeah, I was playing a bit of local, just a bit of a muck around.
Yeah. Come play footy instead. Actually, you used to come down to Kingsley every now and again,
Yeah, I'd love to have
it was a Hazy that new year?
Yeah. Yeah, I'd love to go.
He's got up. Were you there at the comedy night when he got up? So this is before I even met you officially at Kingsley Comedy Night.
I remember.
Hazy got up a couple of times.
Yeah, I've seen him do it once before. Yeah,
I gave him 5. He did 25, man.
Fuck. We should get it.
Yeah, I remember that was fairly early on.
Yeah, a long time ago. But just one thing, Bazball, is that an acronym for something, or is it a style of play, or is it an actual ball?
So Brendan McCullum is Bazza.
Yeah.
So they call it Bazball.
Right. So it's just an aggressive style of play named after him. Yeah,
so he basically... he was a very aggressive batsman.
Yeah, he was great. I remember.
Yeah.
Mate,
I remember in the World Cup in 2015, he took me apart. Like, he just kept. And they are small grounds, but still, someone bowling like good pace at you, and he's just like whipping me here and there. And I actually ended up hitting him on the elbow, and it sort of slowed him down for a moment. And then he was a good player to play against. And real sort of that unconventional style of play. So I think that's where it's come from. He's a little bit embarrassed by the name. He doesn't like it being based. He doesn't like it being based around him because it's not he doesn't want that focus. But I think the England guys have all called it that, and they just give him a bit of a. Who
do you think? This is just completely random since you've given him a big shout out. Who was the best bloke you played against internationally, or top 3?
He's probably up there as one of them.
Because are they good blokes on the field or off the field?
Yeah, the New Zealanders were always like too friendly.
It's because I knew what you could do to them.
Yeah,
because you're trying to
bro. Yeah, because you tried to you tried to have that that intensity and that gamesmanship against them, But they're always like, "Oh, how you going?" Like talking to you, and you're trying to get in that
strategy, man.
Yeah, no, it definitely was. You're trying to get into that mindset, but Mitchell McClenaghan. I played at Mumbai with him in the IPL. Yeah, we got on really well. Most of the New Zealand boys were pretty good. Definitely not on my contacts list. We actually, funnily enough, though. There's a bit of a history there with me and him, but
so Branchy tells me
with a few probably players, to be honest, but and some of them, well, most of them, his own team. But we actually did a lot of work. We did a lot of work not a lot. We did a season together in the IPL as commentators.
Yeah.
It wasn't the main commentary. We were called the Dugout.
Yeah.
So it was me, him, and John Hastings, who played a little bit of cricket for Australia as well, and it was really weird. At first, it was like. It was that elephant in the room type of thing. And we're just like getting along. And it was fine. Look, I all that stuff that's happened, like I couldn't care less.
Yeah.
Those days were done. You sort of move on. And it was funny. We went out to dinner one night. I think it was, I can't even remember the name of the place, but really nice restaurant.
The White Elephant.
The White Elephant. We're in Mumbai. So we're sitting there, and then I think Hasto sort of brought it up. He's like, "Oh, you two mates now, is?" So we just we were fine. We just sort of laughed about it.
Yeah,
and, that was it. So.
I think it's really, it frustrated me a lot because sometimes it's fun to not like someone on the other team. So I just remember when I was 14, it was me and Damo Domjan. He would play for Ocean Reef. I was at Wanneroo.
Damo, yeah.
He was the best on their team.
Yep.
I was up there for mine. And we'd always have these hell hardcore fucking hits, fights. We hated each other. We'd smash him.
Yep.
Then at the end of the year when it was the best and fairest, I think I won, he came runner-up, or vice versa, and we had to sit together at table. And he was a fucking legend. And I made mates with him. I'm like, fuck, man. Now playing against him, I didn't have that fire. I didn't want to hurt him.
Yeah.
And it was
it's true.
It sucked. Yeah. But it was great, because he became mates with all these dudes at the functions.
And I think that's why you play sport too. You have those battles, but you can sit down and bloody enjoy each other's company. Because there's a lot of similarities. You have a lot of similarities in what you do out there. You want to win and you want to do it at all costs sometimes. But yeah, ultimately, like you're both out there and giving it your best. And it's good that you can, be mates.
Yeah.
I have that with someone like a Kane Mitchell who he played with Port Adelaide, but he also was a very good player and a Sandover medalist for Claremont. And I had tagged him. I used to hate him. I'd fucking get him.
He would outrun you surely, eh? Or did you keep up with him?
No, I actually I did well on him when I tagged him.
Yeah.
Kept him to about 13 and I kicked a goal myself.
And he would average like 40 a game, hey?
Yeah, he was a very good player actually.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'd hate him. And then I guess when it came to after post footy, I got to know him a bit more. I started doing some stuff for Claremont.
Yeah.
And I playing against him out at York the other day, and I had a good chat with him. Went and had a beer with him after the game. Like he's a fucking legend.
That's
like,
annoying, eh?
We both get along like really well. Like it's and he's such a fucking. The reason you'd hate him is because he's like the Hayden Ballantyne of the Dockers.
Yeah.
Like he's the one who, but when he's your teammate, he's there for your teammates. That's what you're trying to do.
Well, it's a bit like this Legends League. Like that's part of the reason why I wanted to go over, because you get to actually talk to some of these players that you played against.
Yeah.
And like Liam Plunkett from England played a little bit against. I didn't not like him, but he was just Englishman, so you sort of
you have to not like him. Yeah.
But pretty much. But we got on so well.
That's
Like,
crazy.
we were just like, it was almost like we were best mates on tour. And then it was like Matt Pryor. We used to battle all the time. He was like, he'd piss you off. Like he was just that one of that annoying little
Shane Barros from
keeper.
Swan District.
He'd just niggle at you all the time.
Yeah.
And some of the stuff you just go, you're a wanker. Like, but then we were talking, like, I can't even remember where we were in India, but we were down at breakfast one day. He came and sat with us, mate. Just had a good conversation.
Yeah, that's
and it was fine. Like
and you can see it even. You can see the respect that even though like Australia and England have a fierce rivalry.
Yeah.
Obviously, actually, you haven't been on since. Shane Warne passing away, and then they had a full moment of silence. Like they fully showed their respect to one of the greatest players of all time. But they would have had the biggest battles going, the biggest rivalries going, and then they show that ultimate respect as well.
So they should.
And I think that's where it is. You talk about that white line fever. You hate each other on the field, but as soon as you get off, like you understand, you're both just trying to win for your team, and that's what that is. So
I actually felt like, I look back and when I think about it now, half the time, well, probably more times, I would be pissed off at myself, and so I'd sort of like that would come out, and whoever was in front of me, that's who copped it. Like, so when I sit back and think about those things, it's like, there were some games and shit, but then sometimes I'd be so frustrated with myself.
Yeah. So KP, you're not a wanker. Mitch was just mad at himself.
Nah, that was different.
Fuck. All right, before we finish
wrap it up.
We've got a couple of listener questions. I haven't filtered these at all.
All right.
Yes. Oh shit.
Yes.
Well.
No.
Okay.
yes.
Maybe.
No.
Oh shit. Okay, I got to ask it. If he identified as a woman for one day, fuck, would he slap Candace Warner?
Throw it under the bus.
Okay, don't worry about that
you
one.
You can do a no comment.
We could go back on SAS.
Do many people make comment about his prominent posterior? That's from
The big
Corey
booty.
White.
Very recent, wasn't it?
Yeah?
Corey White, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's Corey White who wrote it. So I think that's why.
It was from him. No, that was funny. That it took me off guard actually a little bit. But
But what did he say? Was it on Saturday night?
Yeah, when you stand.
What did he say?
Well,
I was
not
listening,
there.
but yeah.
Where'd you go?
I was there.
Yeah, just talk about his ass.
Oh, really?
Did you hear him roast me about my wife
It was-
as well?
No, maybe, fuck.
It was because I was wearing those grey pants.
Yeah, right.
My ass was like sticking
Mate,
out.
chicks love a guy in grey sweats. So
Yeah.
apparently Corey White does as well. I got one from Patreon. Would you rather bowl a bouncer at James Anderson or Candace Warner?
Oh, fuck. Okay. Jesus.
It's the talk of the town
Pass.
right now, isn't it?
When is...
Well, I've bowled him at Jimmy Anderson, so
Fuck. When is he coming for a race? Coming back for a race in the car? That was B Sport.
What's that?
It's out of Barbagallo, I guess.
Oh, BD. Is that BD?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know his name. He always he's big, like when it comes to like comments and messages all the time. But B Sport, he was at the races as well.
So what did
Feel
you do?
bad,
You jumped in a
sorry,
I was
supercar.
in the Formula 1000s.
Sick. What,
Yeah.
on your own?
Yeah.
Wow, fuck
Yeah.
yeah.
So you start off in not the I was saying microlights. They're up in the air. You start off in the what's the other cars called? And you've got someone next year, so he would often like help out.
Yeah, sick.
And show you the lines, and
That's
he'd have like a break on his side just to make sure everything was okay. But
like
then
a driving instructor.
yeah, then you can stay in that car by yourself once you get your cams and stuff, or you can go up to the Formula 1000s.
Sick.
And it was pretty cool actually. Like I loved the experience, and then you had to like get pretty much like the car fitted to you.
Wow.
And so you lay in the car. You're laying in the car like this.
Yeah.
And so then you've got to get all this the seat.
Well, you lie
surround-
down in it.
Yeah, you lie down.
Like
your
an
legs
extreme
are up.
go-kart.
Legs are up here.
Yeah, have you seen
right.
like
No, I
how
haven't
the
seen
F1
it.
guys? They're literally,
Yeah, right.
like, and then different F1 drivers will like vary on like where they
Wow.
like to sit and how comfortable they are. So yeah, it's
Oh,
fucking
cool.
pretty nuts.
Oh, if he wants to sponsor me, I'll come back out.
And then I think you answered the other one. It was a 2-part question. He was like thoughts. This was from Chogstagram or Chogstagram. Thoughts on the current team's preparation for the Ashes, and then the batters getting time in the country. Thoughts, but you sort of talked about that. They're there for a while.
It's interesting. There's talk that they're not going to do any practice matches, and I think with this tour, this Ashes tour, I think it's probably smart. As much as you need that match practice throughout, but I don't think they've got time because it's 6 games in 7 weeks. So
Yeah.
they just don't have the time. I think the best practice they'll get is is basically that final, the World Test Championship. So they've got to take the most out of that, the conditions.
Yeah.
There are plenty of players that are playing over. You know, Steve Smith's over there, Bancroft's over there, just in case.
Are they playing county? Is that what they're
Nessa.
doing? Is that
Yeah,
county cricket?
cricket.
Now, is that just serendipitous that Australia and it happened to be the best, so they're playing before Ashes, or is that by design where they've gone, well, Australia are the best, we're going to have that before the Ashes over in England? Because
No,
if it was
so-
like South Africa,
Because
or
it was always
India,
gonna be in
would it
England.
always,
It's in England, so
Right.
this is I think it's the second season
just by chance.
that's happened. Yeah, by
Yeah,
chance.
okay.
Yeah. So sort of works out. I think works out pretty well, and I think the selectors came out and spoke about it recently about not playing practice matches. They actually did it in India where they didn't play any practice matches.
Yeah.
And I wasn't that happy about it in India because they had time to.
Yeah.
And you've got to acclimatise to conditions.
Yeah.
I don't think you can just go in cold.
Yeah.
But they were happy to go in and just have practice sessions. But
Yeah.
it didn't really work out too well in the first 2 tests.
Yeah. Well, I mean, home ground advantage,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
That's-
Yeah,
if you can
that's
get it.
Yeah.
So. Cool. Anything to plug, Mitch? You want to offer your services for a Sportsman Day, professional speaking? Do you want to offer anyone a fight? Give a room number out?
No, I've got nothing. I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm
Are you
pretty
available
happy.
to be hired for speaking engagements and stuff, or is it just like you do that as?
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing a little bit in recent times.
Yeah.
Got a few coming up. So mostly doing a lot around like the mine sites and that.
Yeah.
And sort of based around, like I said, like around my sort of story, a bit about the mental health side, a couple of stories here and there,
Yeah.
but they're not based on sporties type. So
Yeah. Well, if you want to hear about a bit of that, our first pod we went fucking in pretty good detail. And
Yeah,
we
we
chat
went deep-
about
deep
some
into
stuff
the-
with that. But yeah,
right.
So if people want to hire you though, is that an option? Do you enjoy
Yeah.
doing like corporate stuff?
Yeah. You put me on the spot now.
Well, that's all right. I'm just trying. I'm
company
always
I've been
hustling,
using.
man. I'm just trying to think of ways to
Constantly hustling.
Well,
Yeah,
so
no,
you
I'm
can stay in Perth.
I'm
and-
available.
yeah.
But
For a prize.
and you got to find me as well.
Yeah.
Sick.
Fuck yeah.
Cool.
Thanks so much for coming on, man. It was
Yeah.
good. Thanks so much for your help on
Nah.
Saturday night. It was
Yeah.
great. You added a good little bit of protection
That was
for
awesome.
Thanks for
That
coming
was
back
wicked.
on. Fucking
It's
sick.
good to be back on. I know we spoke about it a little while ago, and
Yeah.
it was probably not in the best place. So I was like, maybe next time. But it's been good to see this set up.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
getting
Nice
getting
little
there.
Yeah, we might be moving depending upon. We've had a few listeners reach out and offer some spaces as well. So
Yeah, right.
because we're being dicked around a bit by the landlords, so we might be no, not too much further. But tonight I don't know when this goes out.
Tonight.
Yep. So and the YouTube will be out in a few,
A few
4 or
hours
5 hours after tonight. But
Yeah.
I'm on the gala Perth Comedy Fest. No need to come and actually watch specifically if you want to see me. But if you do want to see the gala, it's the air quotes the best comics available at the night.
Yeah.
Danny McGinley's on. Rob Badram, Ray Badram, who's fucking hilarious. Saw Danny McGinley last night at Whifford's Brewery. He's fucking really funny. He writes the Bulldogs banners, the jokes, the Bulldogs banners.
Yeah.
But this Friday, there's about 20 tickets left to Perth's Most Eligible Bachelor, which is a mix of my stand-up and some games and dating stories. So
Friday, did you say?
this Friday, Friday night. Otherwise, I'm emceeing biggest comedy show on earth every night at Rechabite. So
Beautiful.
Busy man.
yeah, very
I've probably got stuff to plug, but I'm going to Thailand tomorrow, so I don't care.
sweet.
So I'll plug it in the next show.
Cool.
No, we got some Patreons to shout out, but we do that at the start. So
Yeah, cool. And I'll try get a couple of Patreon eps or a random ep in while you're away. And
Perfect.
if not, next ep will be next Wednesday or Thursday.
and hopefully we'll sort this camera. Sorry, guys, if you're watching, if you're the YouTube watchers at home, this camera that's on us right now is a bit glitchy, so we'll get that. Maybe we'll get that repaired.
Even at watches, it's like when I'm going to bed, I'll have it on, but not really watch it.
Yeah, exactly. But sick.
Cool.
Cheers.
Peace.